स्वाध्याय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन कृतिता पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी.
Atma is the light of all lights.
Yeah, 17.
Jyoti Shamapi Tajyoti Masapparamuchyate.
That Brahman that is to be known is the light of all lights. Jyotisham Jyotihi.
Jyotisham Jyoti. Yeah.
Jyotisham Jyotihi. The sun, moon, stars and various other sources of light provide the basis for visual perception by the eyes. You cannot visually perceive an object unless that object itself is a source of light or reflects light from another source. This situation that we know is now converted into an analogy to reveal the Swarupa of Atma. An opaque object cannot reveal itself. It requires a source of light. A source of light does not require another source of light to illuminate. So, visually you can perceive a source of light by itself. Even a glowworm in the night reveals itself with the help of another light. Without the help of another light. Now, is the source of light self-revealing? If it is, it should reveal itself even if you close your eyes. But even the sun, such a powerful source of light, is not able to do that. No source of light is self-revealing. Then how do you arrive at its existence? Only by perception. It becomes an object which is illumined by another source, just as an opaque object is. What is that source? The light in your eyes. The source of light is illumined by the light in your eyes and therefore is not self-evident. The eyes themselves are not self-evident because if they are not backed by the mind, they will not see anything. An inferred object, like a particle, also depends entirely upon your inferring mind. Then what is self-evident? The mind is not self-luminous because if it were, it would not be able to change and you would not be able to perceive any object. To see an object, you must have a vritti in the form of an object, the form of the object. Therefore, the mind also has to be illumined by something else. What is the final source that is self-evident, self-effulgent, swaprakasa? It can only be Atma. Swamiji, the earlier paragraph, can you explain a little more?
Yeah. See, that's what it is, no? Sense, even though we say the sun illumines the whole world, suppose you are blind, you won't be able to see. Even though the sun may be illuminating, you won't be able to see the light. You won't be able to see the sunlight. So, if it is self-illumining, if that is the definition, self-illumining, self-revealing, it should reveal to all without any other source of light. Like in the sense, in the example, we say a light need not have another source of light to illuminate, because when you put on the light is self-illuminating. That is an example. But ultimately, in the sense, the overall, ultimately, what is really self-illuminating? It should be self-illuminating to everyone, anyone and everyone, and anything and everything at all points in time. That is called self-illuminating. So, through a known example, we are looking at the ultimate self-revealing source of light, what it is. So when it comes to that, even if the sunlight falls on something, unless your eyes see it. Even if your eyes see it, if your mind is not behind the eyes, you may not see it. A person may be walking on the road, he will be going, thinking of something else. He may be a very familiar person. You may not even say hello because your mind is occupied. You may be saying, "Hey, this fellow walking by me," and he is not even saying hello. Why? Because your mind is not behind the eyes. So eyes are also not enough. The mind has to be behind the eyes. So the mind is illumined by what? You, the being. That is ultimately the self-revealing being which illumines the mind, which illumines the eyes, which illumines the object, even though the object can be illumined by another source of light. For you to see, you need to illuminate by your own eyes and mind behind that. So for that you have to be behind the mind. If your mind is elsewhere and even though the being is there, the mind is elsewhere, so the alignment doesn't happen. So ultimately the illumined mind is the self-revealing. So that illuminating, it gets from where? It gets from you, the self-revealing being. So that's what he's trying to say. Unless the self-revealing being is there, nothing can be illuminated. The self-evident being is only you. So that is what is arriving through the example that the self-illuminating being, self-evident being is only Atma. That's what he says. That is what he has. Even the vritti, your thought, has to be illumined by you. And suppose, okay, even without your being there behind, the mind is always illumined. You will be seeing everything all the time. You will not be able to distinguish between a bus and a man. You will be hitting. You have to particularly illumine a truck, and you must be able to illumine a car. In between there is space, you are walking. Both, everything, the vritti has to happen, the truck vritti has to happen, the car vritti has to happen, the space vritti has to be happen, you must be walking. So the vritti has to be continuously changing. So the mind is not what you call, it is not all illumining all the time. It is alutta drik. But in Shastra there is a statement called alutta drik. Alutta drik is all the time aware and self-aware and self-revealing being is only you. Whereas every other instrument is illumined by according to the need. The vritti, the car vritti has to happen, the truck vritti has to happen, the space vritti has to happen one by one. So it looks like it's all happening simultaneously. No. You see this, you see this, you see this, then you walk. So that means the changing, the vritti, the mind has to be changing. All the time it has to be changing, all the time, depending on the need. And what you want to see, what you want to smell. Sometimes even the smell, even though very strong smell, if your mind is elsewhere, you may not even feel it. And suddenly, while walking, you would have been elsewhere, and suddenly you find that you are in the midst of a bad smell. Then you close your nose or walk away, because at that time only you got sensed up. So these are all, we take a lot of things for granted. So what he says is, everything, even your person, which I have been telling also, even a vritti, unless you, the being, is there behind, a changing vritti cannot happen. You cannot even transact. You will be stuck with one vritti, but all the time illuminating everything. It will be almost like a bright lit screen, in a movie screen. In a bright lit movie screen, nothing will be visible. Everything will be there. Only when a particular dark space is possible by the etched film, and another dark space, then only this is one form, that is another form. Then only you will be able to see a movie. Otherwise, a brightly lit screen will not give you a movie. Likewise, your brightly lit mind will not help. It has to change. Then only the thought is, a story can be formed, a thought can be formed, a transaction is possible. So, who is illuminating the whole thing? Because the brightly lit being, which is all the time self-aware and self-evident, that only helps you to transact with the world through your mind, through your eyes. Through the eyes, a particular vritti happens. Through your ears, a particular vritti happens. Through the sense of touch, a particular vritti. All these stimuli, which I have told, vrittiti matrameva. Only because of, it's all, it's all in the niyati, it is all in the intelligence of the being, that 5 typical pramanas are there. Something illumines what is color and form, something illumines sound, something illumines smell, everything. So you are having a multi-dimensional world to transact with. and correspondingly form and color is available in a particular in a particular object. That object, what happens? That object reflects only all other colors of the white light get absorbed. Only blue light comes. Then you see the color object is blue. When only red light comes, you see object is red. Actually, the light is not red or blue. It only because of the object, a particular an opaque object that absorbs certain colors. A black, white is appearing black. All other spectrum. The VGR color is there. No, that all get absorbed. Only black is remaining. That comes to your eyes. So you call it black. So, but all these are possible because of the the intelligent Chaitanyam, which is the awareful being, which is what is allowing the mind to bifurcate, your eyes to bifurcate, your ears to bifurcate, the one light of consciousness which I have always told. Like in the pot, a lit lamp is there through 5 holes, 5 beams of light are coming. But 5 beams are not there, there's only one light inside. And because likewise our body also. Navadware Pune Deki. So through every dwaram, some particular sense perception is possible. Because of that, you think an object is there, music is there, the sense of touch is there. So you feel a variety of things are there. Vishwam, Pancha Pramana, Pancha Bhutam, outside, Pancha Bhutam inside, the 5 different varieties of perceptions. Then you feel there is a world. Actually, there is only one light of consciousness. That is precisely what he is trying to say, is that the self-illumining is what is self-evident, is only the light of being, light of consciousness. Everything else is, Atma is the light of all lights. Everything else is only because of that, the Vikshepa Shakti. Vikshepa Shakti means differentiation Shakti of the self-illumining awareful being. And when it happens, the Vikshepa Shakti happens, it's all Ishvara we say. In the sense, the Shakti we call it Ishvara. Basically, it is all emanating from the same being. And when it is Niyati, when it's an order of orders, when the intelligent Shakti, the Chit Swarupam, what we call, then we find a world. The world itself is because of the Chit Swarupa of the same being, Sat Chit. That is precisely what he tries to say. Jyotisham Jyotihi is only, you are the only light of all beings. Jnanam, Nyayam, Jnana Gamyam, everything. The knower, the known, and the knowledge, all are only one being, but differentiated as though. Because of that, transaction is possible. There is a jnata, there is a knowledge, there is a known object. So because of that, you say you are transacting. But all are driven by only one being. The differentiation is only as though. So that means you can call it Maya, you can call it intelligent creation, or you can, if you can understand it, it is all your own intelligence. Your Atma's being, a being that is being available as Shakti, as Vibhuti. So why? Because otherwise what happens, you always resign it to some Ishvara and be done with it. You don't inquire. Okay, anything happens because of Ishvara. Submit it. Okay, but you have to understand what it is, where it or what is Ishvara Swarupa. That is precisely what we are doing here. Ishvara Swarupa and Jiva Swarupa cannot be different because both are Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinna. And the world also cannot be different. World is otherwise Jadam. You are the awareful being, Ishvara is also awareful being. What is world? World is Jada, it's getting illumined. It gets changed time and again, continuously changing. And that is what is called the world. And the available, but it is done, the changes are done through a niyati. If you pull one string one side, something else will happen the other side. Then controlled by the niyati. Who is controlling? The same Chaitanya. So the world around also is controlled by the same order of reality, order of orders, physical orders, chemical orders, psychological order, karma order. So because of the order, it keeps changing and it's inevitable also. Why? Because I have told before also, when there is no substance, but an appearance has to happen, how it will happen? Only by motion. I told as an example, when a glow is put on a thing and rotated, it appears as a word. A glow is put in the fulcrum and we put a handle and rotate, the glow will rotate and form a sentence. Let us go, let us party. But if you stop the motion, it will just show one glow. So likewise our reality also is. The whole thing is in motion. That is why everything is in motion. Particle is in motion, atom is in motion, nucleus is in motion. Anything in proton, electron, everything is motion. Whereas the awareful being is only reality. So the time and once motion happens, time and space comes into play. So the motion, the time and space causality comes into play only when you look at it as an object. Otherwise you are the awareful being all over. Sat, Sadeva Satyam, which is what I have told in that article also.
Not gone, still not gone through. It's still not gone through, Swamiji. You have to do it.
Talk I have, somebody also have said.
Yeah, you have sent it.
It is connected, like Sadeva Satyam, meaning Sat alone is there, everything else is continuously giving an appearance of the world. So once you have that understanding is clear, then you will be able to look at everything as yathartha. Okay, I am a contented Purnam being. The world happens by its own niyati, let me contribute to that extent possible. So no sense of elation or depression, no yo-yo mentality. Just sail along. But the understanding should be clear. That's precisely what we are trying to do. That's what he is trying to say.
But
Atma is like all lights.
But Swamiji, this mind we are talking about, mind. If the mind is not there, just now you said, even a familiar person you will not be able to recognize.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, they say the two questions I have. One is, see, when they say for you to meditation, you must erase thoughts, vritti, manovritti, no manovritti. Only then you will be able to meditate well and try to realize the being. And secondly, for a mentally retarded person, they can see, they can hear all that, no? But because their mind is not working, is it? They are not able to, they just sit there without any kind of recognition.
They are not able to perceive.
No perception, rather, correct. So, is it because of the mind? Because the being is there in them.
Yeah, the mind only. It's a faculty. Antakarana problem. Problem of Antakarana. Antakarana means, again, if it is a medical situation, there are some brain cells, neurons. The neurons are supposed to be all nadis, the capillaries, which are not functioning, which are not carrying the stimuli. The eyes are seeing, but the stimuli do not get to the brain.
Okay, but our mind works, our mind also works the same way then?
Yeah, same way it works, but it's all working. The neurons, there's no block. Sometimes there can be a block. It can be genetic or otherwise. It can be because of some injury, it might happen. Some particular nadis are blocked, nerves are blocked, means sensation will not be there. So all these things are possible. Everything is all. That is why it's only an instrument. At the end of it, it's only an instrument. Even though when we are objectively discussing, we know the mind is an instrument, it is not functioning and all that. But when it comes to our own, we don't say my mind is restless. We say I am restless.
Yes.
Because you identify totally with the mind. When you are fat, the fat is a problem, I have to address it, I have to do dieting, exercise and all that, fine. But when suddenly something in the crowd, you feel I am fat, you feel very conscious. Because you are identifying with your body, your mind, your senses. That is precisely the problem, that the body, mind, senses are illumined by you. That is generally not recognized. That the confusion is between the body, mind, senses as me, I am the body, mind, senses. That body, mind, senses are being illumined by me, that is fine. But I am not the body, mind, senses. That is why I am able to say there is a problem with my body, there is a problem with my mind. So when you are saying objectively, you are discussing, you are able to say that. But when it comes to real time situation, you feel I am fat, I am not okay, I am not happy. Whereas when your reality is other than body, mind, senses, what is that I?
But that's I only, that manovritti is again.
Yeah, you illumine. That illumining happens. It is not that mind is I, but I am not the mind. The illumining happens. That the illumining happens We don't recognize that. We think that mind is Chetana all the time. My mind is a problem. Mind is not a problem. Mind is only an instrument. So that recognition, that cognitive understanding has to happen. Once it is alert to that, when you are alert to that, then you will be able to, okay, mind goes, that's what we have discussed on second chapter. Prajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogata. Lot of thoughts will come, keep coming and going, keep coming and going. Don't dwell on them. Whatever is, you can choose what is appropriate, what is dharmic today, this moment, what is appropriate to the given situation, pick on it and act on it. Rest of the things, let it come and go. Don't have to worry about whether it is good thought, bad thought. So that is, in the sense, the space between you, the being, that is precisely Atma is the light of all lights. We have to claim that reality. The claiming of that reality does not happen. That is precisely the problem, that Sadeva Satyam, that Sat is the Sat beings, Chit Swarupa, your being, Atma, is the only thing. First you have to recognize that with reference to your own. Then you, further probing, you will understand your body, mind, the mind, senses are nothing but they are all operating under a niyati. They are all part of Panchabhuta only. And Panchabhuta itself is nothing but your own being lit up by all this. So eventually a Sarvatma Bhava, but there is nothing else other than the being. That is Advaita. First you have to understand what it is. Sadeva, meaning your reality. Desakala vastu aparichinnam. Sat chit ananta swarupam. Sat means always is. Chit means bharupam, the creative intelligence. Not the intellectual action. That is an instrument again. It's creative intelligence with substance. Satta spurti matrena. Meaning that this is the lifeline of the whole, all beings. That is what you are. That is the reality. That we have to, that is precisely what we are studying all the time, continuously. And that we have to accept it as a reality. Then this what is self-evident? The mind is not self-evident, because it will not be able to change, and you will not be able to, because the vritti will be there, all vritti will be there all the time. You will not be able to act on it at all. To see an object, you must have a particular vritti in the form of object. Therefore, the mind also has to be illumined by something else. And let us go to the next para.
Swamiji, actually, there are some people excel in certain arts, for example, musician. Now, the Atma is driving the mind to use that karmendriyam.
Yeah, no, the thing is that the karmendriya again is what do you call it, a sound. Actually, that particular music is a sound knowledge, the sense of rhythm and all that has to be there. It can be because of a samskara. Samskara in the sense, you might have been dwelling on it that is where we say that, okay, it is, even though everyone is born, same time, same hospital, same time everyone is born, but when they grow up differently. Why?
Vasana.
Cause of samskara. Since as you grow up, you learn music. Some fellows will learn in 10 days, some fellows will learn 10 years also, you won't learn. Why? Because there is some connection, previous connection, quickly is able to recall. Once you make an attempt, you are able to connect yourself to the previous knowledge that has come as part of the samskara. Then you become a good musician. That is called vibhuti, talent. And everyone has some talent or other. Somebody is good at games, somebody is good at music, somebody is good at talking, somebody is good at writing, somebody's handwriting is very good, somebody's memory is very good, somebody's thinking is very good. All are vibhutis. And the vibhutis are what? Samskara. Samskara meaning what? Memory based.
Vasana can be
All are memory based, and comes from with your genes, sometimes genetic memory, muscle memory, all that they say today.
Swamiji, can we say Vasana also? Vasanas?
Yeah, Vasana. Yeah, Vasana also, yes. Samskara, Vasana.
Vasana.
And Vakshana, Kshayartam, sometimes it becomes so sticky that you want to remove that Vasana. Vasana, Kshayartam, you have to do meditation. Or you have to do Nididhyasana. Because some bad thought comes along all the time you are afraid. So then you have to take some mantra and do japa to get rid of that. So again, ultimately, even though all the things are there, you have always the element of free will to understand the reality of your being is always there. You must grow into it. You should not get stuck with the samskara, your body, mind, senses, and all its capabilities, which are, it's not created by you, it's all given, either by your parents or by the genes or by your samskara. Nothing. That is why your body, mind, senses, you can't say, my body, mind, senses. Body, mind, senses, which is temporarily in my care. Because no one else will care for it, I have to care for it. So to that extent, it is my body, mind, senses. But there is no, the sense really, if you really analyze, they are not your body, mind, senses or your vibhuti. You are at the right place at the right time, that's all. So you must appreciate that. The only reality you can own up is only this Atma. And fortunately, it is fulfilling. If you understand it thoroughly, it is self-fulfilling, Purnam. So then, once you have that understanding, then whatever instruments are there, whatever vibhuti is there, you will use it for the betterment of the society. Okay, you have got some talent, you will be able to sing well, make some money, contribute, take care of the family, contribute to the society, contribute to a good cause, all these things. Vibhutis can be used for that. But if you think it is my vibhuti only, I should enjoy it, then it becomes vitiated. Then you will misuse it also. You will try to put down others, all the ego, it will add value to your ego, which is again a problem. So all these are, this is everything has its place. Once this, as I said, first lesson correct happens, all lesson correct. But first lesson, we don't even bother. We grow up to 30, 35, 40, 45 without understanding what is my reality. Somebody thinks my vibhuti, that my talent is my reality. Talent belongs to the body or the senses. So you cannot arrogate upon yourself that time. So suddenly one fine morning it will go, that time you will gone, you are gone.
But
So
why
you
is
cannot
it,
assume. All these are very much part of the niyati, the order, Ishvara's order. That is where your own body, mind, senses is part of the set of body, mind, senses of the whole world. Panchabhuta inside, Panchabhuta belonging to Panchabhuta outside. So that is why it is called Jagat. That is total, Samashti. Veshti is part of the Samashti. Veshti is not you. You are the one who is aware of both the Veshti and Samashti. Like even Ishvara. Ishvara is aware of the Samashti and Veshti. That's what he says. Ajopi sanna ve atma bisanna bhutanam Ishvaro bisanna. Prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma. He knows very well. We also have to know that. Because that is the reality. That is why we are studying this. Yeah, you were trying to tell something.
I forgot I asked you. I will ask you. What is the final
It
source?
doesn't actually introspect, you will get questions and you have to answer it. It is important.
What I was trying to ask is, why is it that we are not being taught at an early age?
Because every one of us, as we early age means people around us should be aware. No, they themselves do not introspect. They are all busy with the world. Karma, dharma, viveka, Vedikam, Laukikam, all. We think that if we at all we don't work in the office and we do Vedika, then we have grown. Only substituting this to that. Okay, if you are not thinking of this Janma, thinking of the next Janma, then we have grown. See, the irony of it is, the very fact that we are looking at the next Janma and doing Punya and all that means what? This body anyway is going to go. That means I have decided to disidentify with this body is going to be useless. I am not going to do anything here. Whatever I am going to use it for the next Janma, next body. Okay, whatever. To that extent, you have got dissociation from your body, mind, senses. But when it comes to, immediately when it comes out of puja and you are doing something, I am fat, I am hungry, you start owning up. So you are neither here nor there. So that is precisely the confusion part of it. That is why we are not able to go anywhere. When you are very sure that your body, mind, senses are not yours, you are working for the future punyam and all that, then you have to consistently behave that way. Your body, mind, senses should belong to the world all the time. Paropakari. And and you be a peaceful, then what are you? Also another thing is, you must know what are you. Your body, mind, senses are not diverse and it is all useful only for the next Janma. Then what are you now? That question we don't ask. You are going to take some next Janma, there should be a good Janma, so I will work for it. But what am I now? Then if my body, mind, senses, what I am here right now with me is not going to be useful to be useful means I am different from that. I am different from that. That is why you are thinking that way. Then what am I? That question first should be addressed before you start doing something for the next Janma. Then otherwise you will be doing the next Janma also the same. You will be working for the next Janma. Always in the future, never in the present. So you will be always running after a shadow. So that is why the presence is very.
That is
must
because
know.
that is because we are afraid that in the next Janma we should at least do what we are doing today and not
No,
become worse.
but that's true. Next Janma should be at least as good as this Janma. Okay? Even if you assume it that way, that means you are clearly saying that this body is only temporary. I am permanent. I am going to have the next Janma. Okay? This body is temporary. It's like a chatta potukra mari. This chatta vittu pudu chatta potukku. Then what am I now?
Yeah.
That introspection will tell you. If you are not your body, mind, senses, then what are you? Atma. And what is it? What are its characteristics? It is not born in time, it is not gone in time. Because what is born in time and gone in time? Body, mind, senses. And it does not have a space. Because what has space? Body, mind, senses have got a place, identity and all that. So, timeless, spaceless, being I am. And I am, as being, when that understanding dawns on me, then I am limitless. And whenever I am in a happy moment, what am I? I'm not even bothered about my body, mind. Even there is a pain, but I get a happy news, I'm happy. Next moment I may be aware of my body pain. But this moment when I am happy, I am the pleased self. And that you honor, that is your reality. Not your body, mind, senses. So the pleased self is your reality. And that is Desa Kala Vastu Aparichinnam. And why can't be? Okay, if that is the reality, and that is my pleased self is my reality, let us be the pleased self all the time. Why we associate with whatever happens to my body, mind, sense? Okay, body, mind, senses, there is some problem in the body, there is some good things that are happening in the mind. All that you just take it as it comes. Do whatever you need to do in every situation. Look at it, that space you retain. Then you will always be a pleased self. That is called Chitta Samadhana. A cheerful state of mind. You will be there. That's what you are aiming for in life actually. Actually, you are aiming for life only that. Every moment in life you want to be cheerful. And you want to be limitless, happy all the time. That is your fundamental problem. There is a book called Fundamental Problem. And even Gita in the beginning, we have discussed fundamental problem. Swamiji's introduction. The beginning, fundamental problem, he himself has discussed. We want to be happy all the time. We want to be there all the time. We want to be knowing everything all the time. We don't brook any ignorance. As we walk on the road, there's a crowd. We want to know what is there in the crowd. We want to go and see what is happening there. Because you cannot be without knowledge. But that is your reality. That is why you want. That is your reality. Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinnam means what? There is nothing that is outside of you. That is your reality. But you have to understand it. Because all that is happening, if you really analyze, finally, first is your understanding, and the understanding of Ishvara is also nothing but Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinnam. And what else is there? We always say everything is Ishvara. All that is here is Ishvara. That means what? That is also what? That's also the reality of that also is the same. Then why it looks different? Because it's in motion all the time. So as if something is happening. And how it is able to sustain it for a long period of time. Same thing, same person I am seeing next day also same way. Because that is a niyati, that is the beauty of that intelligence. It's able to keep it together. Even though changes are happening, the changes are infinitesimally small. The same Krishna Kumar you see today is the same, not the same Krishna Kumar tomorrow. But for all practical purposes, is the same. So you get along. Cells have changed. A lot of cells might have dropped. A lot of hairs might have dropped. Something might have grown. Even the mood might have changed compared to yesterday and today. But we pass because it is allowing the transaction. The Vikshepa Shakti allows the transaction. Where the Shakti comes from the creative intelligence. The being only. Only the limitless being can have that sort of unlimited capability. It cannot come from a limited faculty sitting somewhere, sitting in some temple. Till the time we understand this, we do all these props so that we get along. But eventually we have to understand. It cannot be. That is why understanding is Ishvara worship. That's what Bhagavan himself says. Nanitu atmaiva mematam. Only a person knows me thoroughly is me. He's not even different from me. He's not by bhakta also he doesn't say. He says he's me. He's one with me. That we have seen already. 4 types of jnanis. So the ultimate bhakta and ultimate jnani are one and the same. So, but for that we have to understand. We have to look at all these things thoroughly. When he says Atma is the light of all lights, we should not stop halfway. We have to analyze it thoroughly, which he is doing for us. We have to go through it and see the truth of what he is saying.
What is the final source that is self-evident, self-effulgent, Swaprakasha? It can only be Atma. That Ayam Brahma is the Atma, which is of the nature of light. All other lights depend entirely upon it. The light within and the light without, the innermost light, which is beyond anything else, the light of lights, I am light. The self is light, I am Shiva. Antajyotir Bhagavad Jyotihi Pratyek Jyotihi Parat Paraha Jyotir Jyotihi Aham Jyotihi Atma Jyotihi Shivosmeham.
Basically, these are all the Dasa Sloki and all it comes. Shankara's Dasa Sloki tells all this.
Brahmajnana this comes Swamiji. Brahmajnana.
Yeah. A lot of Sutras and all had this,
By repetition, you come back to the same point again and again. That is Nididhyasana. This is
contemplation. Nididhyasana means contemplation on this understanding.
This is the light that is said to be beyond ignorance. Tamasaha param uchite. Tamas is not darkness here. Light is the opposite of darkness.
In Purusha Tamasat Paratap Param. In Purusha Suktam also it comes. Tamasat Paratap Param. What it is.
They are mutually exclusive. This light of consciousness, however, allows everything, including darkness, to exist. It is a light because with which you are aware of darkness. Atma Jyotihi is not opposed to ignorance, much less knowledge. It will illumine both knowledge of a part and the ignorance of the particles that constitute the clay. It is above the opposites, illumining and lending its existence to both. It illumines ignorance with the same efficiency as it illumines any vritti of knowledge. It does not stand opposed to anything. Atma is the seer that never wanes. Alupta Drik.
Alupta Drik, meaning imagine eye which doesn't close. Alupta Drik, always aware. That's what he says, Alupta Drik. Lupta means closed. Alupta means not closed. It's always aware. The awareful being that I was.
Whether the mind goes to sleep, is dreaming, is bringing in sound or taste, it illumines. And when the subtle body leaves the physical body, and also disintegrates, Atma is ever illumining as pure consciousness. Therefore, it is the light of all lights that is above the darkness called ignorance. That
So,
light is
if
jnana.
suppose we don't have any of this differentiation like eyes, ears, and all that, only light of consciousness is there, then there won't be any transaction. There won't be any world.
Yes.
The world itself, you are able to see the beauty of the inner light and light of consciousness only because of the world we transact. That is why it's called Tatastha Lakshanam. We have told before also, no?
Yeah.
When we
Tree.
show the child a moon, you go to the branches of the tree, you see between the two branches, see that above that particular branch, and there you are able to show the moon to the child. So, the trees and the branches have nothing to do with the moon or nothing to do with you. But they are available for you to understand the moon, show the child the moon. The same way, the world is nothing but a glory, the glorious instrument through which you are able to see your own light of consciousness. That is called Tatastha Lakshanam, and your Lakshanam is Swarupa Lakshanam. Your Swarupa you come to know through incidental attributes. They are all incidental attributes, what we are talking about. Whereas Atma Jyoti is the ultimate, the being. Yeah.
That light is jnana, which is above knowledge and ignorance, meaning pure consciousness. It is also jnaya, to be known as Param Brahma, the cause of everything, and it can be arrived at through knowledge, jnana gamya, consisting of the values and attitudes already mentioned together with Shastra Pramana. Where can it be known? At present in various forms, with Twitter.
Your volume is not okay.
Yes, Swami. Now it is okay.
Now it is okay.
Yeah, okay.
At present, in various forms, it is sthita in the intellect, Kriti, without being affected by any of the many things that take place, it remains as pure consciousness. In order to sum up what has been said so far, there is the following verse.
Verse 18. The one who is committed to me is fit to gain me. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam gyeyam choktam samasatah madbhaktaye tat vijnaya madbhavayopapadyate. Iti kshetram. Thus the kshetra, tatha as well as jnanam, the means of gaining knowledge, gyeyam cha, and what is to be known, uktam, have been told, samasataha.
Samasataha. In brief.
Samasataha.
Yeah, brief. Yeah.
Mad bhaktaha, the one who is devoted to me, etat vijnaya, knowing this clearly, mat bhavaya upapadyade. Bhavaya upapadyade. He is fit to gain the condition of being me.
Yeah.
Thus,
Then mat means generally you think it is all Ishvara. Mat. But actually it is nothing but the abstract being. Swarupa of the Ishvara as well as Swarupa of you. So then it becomes understanding. If it is mat bhakta and all that, then it becomes bhakti. Whereas it is understanding that mat should be actually in language also the meaning of mat is what? Me only.
yes.
But because Ishvara's words, that is Bhagavan, Lord Krishna is talking, we assume that it is Ishvara. So Mad Bhakta means Ishvara Bhakti alone is everything. Basically what he means is your understanding of yourself as Atma, as your Swarupa. He is the real my Swarupa also.
Yes.
So then it becomes understanding, then it becomes jnana. So the whole Gita, wherever Mat is coming, you must replace it with Atma. Then it becomes complete, the knowledge becomes complete. The Ishvara's understanding and your understanding are one and the same. If that is there, then you can say, he says you are me. And that is what the whole Shastra is all about. You are me, Aham Brahmasmi. All Mahavakyas is what? Tat Tvanmasi, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Brahmavit Apnotu Param. Everything is equation. This side and that side appears differently. This side looks very small, that side looks very big. But if you remove all that changing elements on both sides, the changeless is the same on both sides. Equal, equation. That is why it's equation. Equation has to, why an equation is possible? Because both sides should look differently. Then only, otherwise A equal to A is not an equation. A plus B equal to C and D means, C plus D means A is different, B is different, that C is different, D is different, still equation means what? There must be some reason. You must be able to see you must be able to remove the differences on both sides. Then the samanyata will be established. That is called equality. That is precisely what we are doing. The samanyata is established. What is common between me, Ishvara, and the world? The being is the only reality. Everything else is changing. That is what we are trying to arrive. Yeah.
Thus, the kshetra as well as means of gaining knowledge and what is to be known have been told in brief. The one who is devoted to me, knowing this clearly, is fit to gain the condition of being me. Here,
See, this sentence itself makes it very clear. The one who is devoted to me, knowing this clearly, is fit to gain the condition of being
being
me.
me.
Once you know, you become me. As Bhagavan says.
Here, Bhagavan says that the following things have been told in brief, samasataha. They are the kshetra that was said to be consisting of the 5 elements, ahankara, buddhi, and the unmanifest objecta, etc., extending to the entire creation. Jnana, consisting of values like amanitva, and jnaya, that which is to be known. Param Brahma, which has no beginning and which is neither existent nor non-existent. Here, he does not mention the Kshetrajna separately because he has already established that it is identical to Jnaya. Now, Shankara says that he is summing up in this verse the meaning of the entire Veda and also of the Gita. For this vision of Jnayam Brahma, who is qualified? Mad Bhakta, the one whose devotion or commitment is to me, Parameshwara, who is all knowledge and the ultimate Guru. Because he is the initiator of this knowledge, he is the original and final Guru. The one who has given his entire mind, senses, everything to the pursuit of the knowledge of Bhagavan is called Mad Bhakta by Bhagavan. When you want everything, you have to give everything. That is how it is. Even in gambling, if you are very sure you are going to win, you will stake everything. But here, there is no gamble because what you have to accomplish is already an established fact. Therefore, there is no question of losing. Here, to the extent you give up, to that extent you gain in the sense, the more contented you are, the more you are able to give up. The more dissatisfied you are, the less you can give up. Here, giving up is really growing out of something so that every time you give up something, you have grown out of it and therefore there is no loss involved. Here, whatever is given up is not lost in the sense that it is subsumed in the knowledge of Satya and Mithya. What is subsumed?
Subsumed means devoured. Devoured means it gets
Devoured.
to understand Mithya
Consumed.
is nothing but Satyam. There is only Satyam. There is no Mithya. You have to understand the reality of Mithya is Mithya, that's all. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to throw out. But you must know it is Mithya. Okay, if it is not, if it is Mithya, then what is Satyam?
Yeah.
I am only Satyam.
Thus, everything is given up, and the one who is ready to give up everything in order to gain this knowledge is called Mad Bhakta by Bhagavan. He offers everything to the Lord, whatever he sees, whatever he hears, whatever he touches, etc. His mind is overwhelmed or pervaded by the appreciation that everything is Bhagavan. Bhagavan says that such a person, knowing this clearly, etad vijnaya, knowing this jnayam Brahma that was told in the previous verses, becomes fit to gain myself, mat bhavaya upapadyade. Mad bhava, as said by Bhagavan, is being Paramatma, recognizing one's identity with Ishvara. This is accomplished by Mad Bhakta, like the 10th man becoming the 10th man once he knows he is the 10th man. See volume 6, page 206, footnote 14. We are in volume 7.
But yeah, we will.
Volume 6.
We will
This
next class.
volume 7.
Yeah, we are in volume 7.
Bhagavad 6 இருக்கானே இல்லை
அங்கே இருக்கு மேலப்படி
இல்லை see what it is given like that புரியல அதை எடுக்கணும் volume 6
நான் பார்க்குறேன் பிடிஎஃப்பில் பார்க்குறேன்.
tenth man becoming the
Yeah.
yes, so we'll look up volume.
You got that?
No, that's what we get. I'll bring it.
Huh?
It is here
No,
only.
no.
The book is here. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Page 206.
Yeah, it is something like that Dasama Drishtanta. We have discussed that. Same thing, that the boy is crossing the river, that story.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
Yeah, the boys are crossing the river, that fellow counts, the leader counts without counting himself.
Yeah, that's
Every
what.
time he counts only 9.
Yeah,
Then
then the 10th man.
learned person comes on the way and he says that it's all-
Dashama Drishtantam.
Actually,
Drishtantam.
Actually, it is a Paramartha Guru story.
Huh? Yeah, here the Bhagavan is the Guru. Basically, we count out because we so assume, as I was always telling, my talks also have been telling that when you go into a dark room and put on the light, you forget the light, you see only the objects.
Yes.
You start so busy with the objects, rearranging and enjoying the objects, you forget the light. Without the light, where is that objects?
Object, yes.
So you are the light. Because of you only the world is.
Yes.
Since you forget, Bhagavan has to remind you as the 10th man. That's
Okay.
what the story is all about.
Yes.
Very-
So
and
this
also
is,
Swamiji used to give a very funny anecdote of the glasses on your head.
yes.
The sense you will be the busy man, head of the family,
Sighting.
reading a newspaper, a guest comes, he starts talking, putting the glasses
Yeah,
up. Once the fellow goes out, he wants to read the newspaper, he doesn't find the glasses in the right place, he shouts at all the people. And they all make a fool of him. Get whatever they want to do, get it done, then say, okay, put your hand on their head. Then he finds the glasses, then he gives a sheepish look. So same thing, that's what we are, ultimately once we understand, we must be laughing at ourselves. Why are we struggling life? It's a beautiful life. Bhagavan has given us, blessed us as much as we are also equally blessed. He has been telling the whole Gita. We refuse to move. We say that Saranagati means we have to go and do in the temple only. Madbhaktaha. And Madbhaktaha means we are looking for, where is Bhagavan? He says you are your own Bhakta. Once you understand you are the one which I am. Antaryami. Hriday Tishtati. You don't have to go anywhere. Okay, as you are growing up, we don't know, since you have not started inquiring, the world gives you a pratima, says go and worship, pray, fine. But ultimately, what we are praying for? What is the reality of Bhagavan? Once you inquire, either you have to work at the reality of Bhagavan or you have to look at the reality of you. Which is easier? Reality of you is easier. That is why Tvam Padartha first, then okay, Tat Padartha, what is the world? World also is nothing but the same being in name and form. You are also the same being with the body, mind, senses. Because body, mind, senses and the name and form of the outside world are having the same one reality, Mithya, changing. The changeless is your being and Ishvara's being. And there is no Ishvara other than you ultimately, Ishvaroham. So that is precisely what we are. This is various slokas. It is all our own vision of what the world is. From there, Bhagavan is trying to take us to what we are. So he cannot say, initially if you say we can't understand. So he is looking at everything, what we are doing in the not today life, transacting world, what is its reality, temple, bhakta, Bhagavan, Bhagavan means what? He assumes whatever we are assuming, and then from there he is trying to take us, what is the reality of Bhagavan, what is the reality of you? And makes an equation, Tat Brahmasi. So, the precise, and since it's Bhagavan Vyasa has put it as if it is told by Bhagavan. From Bhagavan's words we are getting. So naturally we'll have greater Shraddha. So my talk also begins with Shraddha only. Yesterday's talk. You can listen to that. Whatever you discuss now will be there. Okay, then so we'll stop with this para.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will complete this paragraph.
In order to know Paramatma, you must have love for Paramatma Jnana. Everybody loves Ananda, that happens to be Atma, but in spite of this, rarely does one love the Atma Jnana. This is what distinguishes a person as a Jignasu, and this is the Bhakta meant here, who is much more than a simple Bhakta, who appeals to Bhagavan to assist him in his pursuits within samsara.
So we lower ourselves, keep on asking him, give me this, give me that, rather than identifying ourselves with his Swarupa. So he must be wondering.
Very difficult.
Anyway, we'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
Om.
पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम